Good morning, guys. Good morning, followers. We're moving to quadratic equation part three. Okay. Jokingly, we are moving forward, and then we are moving upward, and then we are progressing. So, like here now, we have equations with irrational roots. Now, irrational is also coming on board now. In solve part one, I made mention of irrational numbers. Okay, which means that in mathematics is very key that you understand some basics. Just as a reminder, okay, I have example of rational numbers here. Reminder, and like I said, you can numbers that that one and itself can go. Most of them are irrational numbers. Okay, so like root 3, root 5, root 7, 1 and 5 can go, 1 and 7, 1 and 11, 1 and 13, 1 and 17, 1 and 19, and we have other ones like that. So we have many of them. So, like I said in part one, it's undersolved. Give yourself like 10 examples of it, 10 to 20 examples. Now, in this part, in this quadratic equation, there are some irrational numbers that will be showing here. Okay, not all of them. Okay, there are some irrational number that will be showing here that you need to leave it as it is because it's only one and itself that can go in it. So to avoid too much talk, we have to bring out a lot of examples that we can play around with so that you can understand this particular part three very well. Let's look at the first one. Number one, let me use another color. Okay, that's number one. Number one we have x plus 4 square equals what? 3. Now, if you look at this very well, why do we say equation of irrational roots? It shows that if you're not very careful, by the time I expand this, okay, and I bring all the s together like the way I did in part two, the examples I gave in part two, you will not be able to factorize it very well. Why? You will not be able to factorize it in the sense that it falls under this topic, which is irrational roots. You understand me now? So, what to save our time, the way we solve this, all you just need to do is that let's assume you saw it in the theoretical part, okay? But if it's in the objective part, but I'll still need to simplify it so that you can understand exactly what I'm saying. What we're going to do is that find the square root of both sides. You find the square root square root of both sides. Okay, if this comes out in the theory, this is how you have to say it like this so that the examiner or that is marking it will be able to write, oh wow, you did not jump your step. What's the meaning of the square root? Like I said, don't forget in one of my parts under the sword, I said square root square root square root is the same thing as power half, or is the same thing as this. Don't forget, reminder, okay? In one of my parts in sword, I made mention of this. Reminder, square root is the same thing as power half is equal to short form, which is this, okay? Now, this means that they said find the square root of both sides, which means that 7 plus 4 all square, this is square root, okay, equals square root of what? 3. And don't forget, I said square root is the same thing is equals to power half equals what? Square. Then it means that you can have s plus 4. I will change this square root to power half. Like I said, power half. This power half here. Okay. So this is our target is to break it down into pieces. This is power half. Okay. Then it means this one will be square root of 3. So you can either change it to 3 raised to power 2 or power half. Okay. So now and don't forget you can also put plus or minus. I said I made mention it in salt too. Anytime you are trying to introduce salt, always put plus and minus. That is why those parts are very, very important. You need to go back and look at them if you've not gone through them so that you will not skip you know, any point that we mention in all those parts. So we have here 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1. So it means this one will remain s raised to power 4 raised to power 1, which is equal to plus or minus what? 3. Now, if you look at this very well, anything raised to power 1 is that thing. Joy raised to power 1 is that thing. Okay. So if you say 0 raised to power 1 is still 0, 2 raised to power 1 is that thing. So which implies, this implies, so this implies x plus 4 equals plus or minus what? 3. So when they say solve the equation, example solution, solve the equation, they want you to find the value of s. That's the meaning. Okay, when anytime you see solve the equation, they want you to find the value of s. So it means that, don't forget, in one of my class, that's in part 1 or part 2 of quadratic equation, I told you that anything on the right hand side is the owner of the sign. 4 on this right, on this side, is the owner of this plus sign. And if 4, because I'm looking for the value of x, if 4 is crossing equal sign and is moving to either left or right hand side, it will change the sign. Very simple, don't miss it. So it means that x, I'm moving plus 4 to right hand side. Okay, so like move plus 4 to right hand side. So if it's moving, it will change to minus. This is plus or minus what? 3 minus 4. Do you see now? Very, very simple. Plus or minus 3 minus what? 4. So this implies that s equals plus root 3 minus 4, okay, or minus root 3 minus 4. It's as simple as that. You know, root 3 is what? Irrational number. That is the example I've mentioned above. Okay, root 3 is irrational number, example of irrational number, that it is only one and itself that can go. Leave it as that, because in your option, in your objective, or in your option, you will see it as this. If they want you to simplify it, just press your calculator. You will know that yes, they simplify it. In your calculator, you will see maybe something like you will see a continuous number. You understand me now? So this is this. So don't forget, I can rearrange this, or I can rearrange this. You can see it in your option in different way. I can rearrange this. Look at it. I'm bringing minus 4 to this side. It's not crossing any equal sign. I'm only rearranging the one on the right hand side. Okay, I can rearrange it to be minus 4 plus root 3. It's still the same thing. Okay? Or I can rearrange it to be minus 4 minus what? Root 3. Do you see it now? I'm just rearranging. I'm bringing minus 4 to this side. I'm bringing plus 3 to this side. Whoa, so it's not crossing any equal sign. So no sign is changing. I'm only just bringing into rearranging the right hand side. Okay. So here too, if you look at it very well, it's what? I can also say this one is what? Minus 4. Okay. Minus 3. So it's very simple. So if this one comes, most times this one comes out in objectives. Okay. So when you sit in objective, don't waste your time. So you cannot factorize this. All you just need to do, since they say solve the equation, you are getting your S. Okay. So just ensure that you just tackle it, you know, as mentioned, because it's mentioned that you should find the square root of both sides. So let's move to number 2. I hope this one is clear. So let's just move to the second one. Let's move to the second one. So you have number 2. Number 2 is s plus 9 square equals what? 3. Okay. So this is very simple. S plus 9 equals what? Equals 3. S plus 9 square. The same thing. You do what? Find the square root. Find the square root of both sides. You see that is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. You don't need to stress yourself. So like I said, and I said that, note, square root is the same thing as power half, or is equals to this. Okay, is equals to this. That's so is equals to this. Now, here you can now say, okay, that implies x plus 9 raised to power 2 square root equals square root of what? 3. So now we can say, like I said, it's same thing as power half, which I've mentioned earlier, so that we don't waste our time. So you have square root of what? 3. I can also change this one to 3 raised to power 2. It's still the same thing. And don't forget the plus and minus. Okay? So it means that 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1. So you can have x plus 9 equals what? Plus or minus what? Root 3. So plus 9 is moving to the right hand side and crossing equal sign. So it means that s will be plus or minus root 3 minus what? 9. So which implies that s equals plus root 3 minus 9 or minus what? Root 3 minus what? 9. So that is that. So it's as simple as that. So this part is very, very straightforward. You don't need to waste much of our time. And let's quickly solve that's number 3 there. Number 3 there. So like I've said, I keep repeating it because repetition is part of learning. It's part of the schemes in learning. Okay. Like I said, please always solve as many questions as possible. That will make you have confidence in maths. Okay. You know, you know that yes, we have factorization under this part. You know that okay, we have solved the equation that you cannot factorize, and they give you in form of square form. You understand? They say solve the equation, you should know what to do because they're always coming out in the exams. So for number 3, we'll still touch base with past questions. So we're just giving ourselves examples so that we can see how this can be done. So now, if you look at this very well, this is improper fraction. I've mentioned this on the sword. Okay, I've mentioned this on the sword, part of the example I gave under rational and irrational number. Okay, and it's coming out in this part now. So what do? We first change this improper fraction to proper to proper fraction, which implies that this one is the same thing as x minus 6 square equals 9 times 2. And this one is the same thing as 9 times 2 plus 7 all over 9. Okay, 9 times 2 plus 7 all over 9, which is the same thing as 9 times 2 is what? 18. 18 plus 7, that is what? 25. So this is 25 over 9. Okay, so after doing that, it means that we can now, let's continue this one here, up here. We'll continue this here. So it means that implies that x minus 6 square 25 over what? 9. So what do? Find the square root of both sides. Find square root. I'm writing this so that you can understand it. If you see it in the objective, there's no need for you to write it. But if it comes out in the theory, you need to show you're working. Find the square root of both sides. Okay, so which means that because each of those things carries their own mark, you have minus x minus 6, raised to power 2 square root, then square root of what? 25 over what? 9. Okay, so if you look at this very well, this is very simple, it's very straightforward. So all you just need to do is look at it very well. So that implies x minus 6 2 times what? Power half. Now, if you look at, in short form, don't forget division law. Like I said, division law, you can split it, go to the short form. You can see it's reflecting here. That is how math works, okay? You don't just jump and say, okay, yes, you want to start learning this without knowing the before. So now I've mentioned this in part of my part in the short, division law. We have multiplication law under short form. We also have division law. So it means I can split this one into root 25 over root what? 9. Okay. So now 2 will cancel 2. We have x minus 6 equals, that's 5 over what? 3. And don't forget our plus and minus, plus and minus. Okay. So this is plus and minus. So which means that that implies that x minus, that's x equals, I'm moving my minus 6, is crossing equal sign to the other side. So plus minus 5 over 3 plus what? Plus 6. Okay, so minus 6 is moving to the other side. So which implies, this implies that s equals plus 5 over 3 plus 6, or minus 5 over 3 plus 6. Okay, so anything plus is still the same thing as, 5 over, there's no, it's not compulsory that you see plus here, but if you see it, it's okay. But if you don't see it there, it's still the same thing, 5 over 3 plus 6. So you can find the LCM here if you want to do it. It's still the same answer. You can find the LCM, then you get your correct answer. And I hope that is clear. You see that that is very straightforward, so that we won't waste much of our time on that. Okay, then you can have, let's look at this. That's number 4. Number 4, s minus 6 all square equals what? 36. Like this now, we solving this question now, you falling back on past questions, you will see that you won't see much of the difference, because exactly if this question comes out in the objective question, that's how you see them. So if you find the square root, I don't want to write it again, I've written it for 1 to 3 now. Find the square root of both sides. So it means that you have, that implies x minus 6 all square, that square root equals square root of what? 36, plus or minus 36. So now this is straightforward. If you look at it very well, then this will now be, that's x minus 6 2 times half, that implies equals, this is a perfect square now. Square root of 36 is what? That is 6. 6 times 6, 36. So 2 here, 1, 2 here, 1. X minus 6 equals plus or minus what? 6. So if you look at this very well, there's no need to put bracket here again, because there's no power again. So minus 6 is crossing equal sign. It's moving to the right hand side. So minus 6 is changing to plus 6. So which means that x is equal to plus or minus 6 plus what? 6. That implies my s equals 6 plus 6, or 6 minus what? 6. Okay, I'm splitting this. Okay, or if it's not clear like that, don't let me do it that way, so that you won't get confused. Okay, I'm picking plus first, plus 6 plus 6, or minus 6 plus 6. Okay, plus 6 plus 6, or minus 6 plus 6. So it means that 6 plus 6 is what? This is 12, or 0. Okay, it will cancel each other. If you have 6 naira and I gave you 6 naira, it will cancel. It means I won't have nothing again. If I have 6 naira and I give somebody 6 naira, it means I'm left with nothing. So that's the meaning of this. Minus 6 plus 6 equals 0. Minus 1 plus 1 equals what? 0. So that is very, very straightforward. So if you see that, okay, now, please ensure that you like, you comment, and you share. We have a lot of students thinking that mathematics is very hard, without them knowing that mathematics is just like chin chin and pure water. All I just need you to do is just to solve as many questions as possible, like the way we are laying our hands on so many questions here. So here, if you look at it very well, we stopped at number 4, and this was intentional, because we want to ensure that everybody understand and see that yes, mathematics is very, very simple. So in our next listing, we'll complete this part, then we'll move to the next topic. So we're not rushing. All what we're trying to do is that sit at your comfort zone at home, go through the mathematics, all the parts that we have, you understand that we've uploaded, then you'll be okay, and you'll be good to go to, to massacre any exams that comes your way. Thank you. God bless you.